ever since I started making quotations, I've noticed and realized that a number of people, like most of us in our 20s, in our 30s, we rarely go for medical screenings. Like I've got a vast experience of different hospitals. I'm not basing on maybe generally one hospital, but I've gone to different hospitals, and I've noticed that the screenings part were all areas or departments where they do screenings and everything. Those areas are always like empty. Those guys are not working at all, and you could be blaming yourself. Oh my God, I haven't been doing this. Guys, this one will shock you. Personally, me too, I don't really go there quite often. I just go there once in a while, like when I feel there's a big urge or something has stimulated me or something like that, then I just go for screening, like medical screening, just because I'm there. I'm sure if I told maybe I was also not part of the hospital, or I wasn't spending any time around the hospital, maybe I was somewhere on a farm or somewhere, like I don't know, doing my businesses and everything, I would have less time to come to hospital for a screening up or a checkup. But there was one simple story that really drove everything, and I tried to see things in a different way, and I really got in the value of how screenings are really so essential, the main value or the core value of medical screenings. This is a story of a gentleman. This guy has a child, only one child, imagine, has sickle cell disease, but this child is always like at hospital every 2 weeks, a maximum of 2 weeks. They're at hospital, and in most cases they're hospitalized maybe for 1 day or 3 days, something like that, or even at times a week, depending on how the child is presenting and how they're progressing. I don't know, maybe they haven't really mastered how to manage the condition for the time that been having it and something like that, but they're always at hospital. And this guy is in his 30s, and I would expect him to be maybe working, trying to provide for the family and everything, but I'm sure he lost his job. That's what he was saying, and he was like in a vulnerable state where he really needed like financial assistance, things to be helped out, because he wasn't working. Maybe even at the job he was fired, because after every 2 weeks there is no employer that can allow you like go away for after every 2 weeks. You're going to attend to your child and then you come back, and most of the times it's not that maybe you just only attend to your child when you're away, or I mean maybe when they're at hospital. Even at home you need to monitor, you need to do everything. So I suspect that probably he will take 80% of his time just taking care of the child, and maybe the least 20% doing other things. And if you calculate maybe doing all the other things and what, I would expect that now the time for work will be like remaining like 5% time that you could devote to work, and that's so little time to be quite productive and maybe to be so successful in life or to sustain yourself financially. In this video, I will deliver 3 top screenings that you really need to live a fairly better life in your 20s or in your 30s, that will even reflect in your 50s, in your 40s, and time to come, even in your next generation. Because once you don't do the things, at times you'll never know, you may land into the next generation also that's being affected, and you don't feel like good when your child is suffering over the things that are yet something you could like you do something about it just at this very point. So you can try it just now. After watching this video, you go and try or do these screenings. And the first one is the spouse or fiance screening. This one is like taking or considering screening or blood checkups and everything like that for your spouse. Because if I told maybe now, like if I'm giving an example, like for anemic conditions like sickle cell, hemophilia and things of the sort, these ones are okay, that genetic conditions. Maybe you they really need, if I told maybe this person or this gentleman had gone maybe and did a genetic screening with a spouse, and they found out that maybe they have both the carriers of the sickle cell disease, maybe the AS, or even at times they could have considered some other way or some other alternative, maybe reconsidering not having a child probably, or even separating in peacefully. I don't know, any measure that they could take for this case, it would be much better. So even plus some other conditions, just that needs genetic screening up. You get the family, the history of your partner's or spouse's family, and then your side to check, to assess if at all maybe there is something that is really needed to be done about it, and then you screen up for the potential risks that you may be having. Both of you get, not only one person, both of you check out all that thing. And then this drives me to the very second screening that you really need, and that's the occupational screening. Occupational screening is generally doing checkups that eliminate anything that may come as a result of maybe the work you're doing. Let me say due to maybe poor ergonomics at the workplace, you can be there and then you're living even a sedentary lifestyle. Probably let me give a pure example. Maybe you're working on a computer, maybe you're working in a billing department, maybe around hospital, and then you all the time you have to be on your screen or on your monitor and everything like that, and you find that maybe your eyes somehow will be affected by all means. So an eye checkup is so essential for this thing. And maybe you're seated, you're always seated, you're not doing maybe any exercise, you're not moving, and how so you're at a higher risk of maybe developing hypertension, diabetes, and maybe cardiac issues, issues with the heart. So by that you can just do quite often, maybe once a year, once in 2 months, or once in 6 months, to go up to screening up all those conditions that may be related, such that maybe you're safe on a safer side. And if at all you find that maybe you're not there, or you haven't gotten the condition or something like that, then you do something about it. Maybe you start exercising a little bit, you try to walk around every time you are at work, or you take breaks from your monitor or from your screen. You get maybe just after every 2 hours you take some break, and then you live a life that's far much fairer. And these ones that's so common. Let me see, even maybe you're living in Africa, or you're working somewhere where the sun is scorching. You get maybe you're from somewhere where you're not really used, or your skin is not really like used to the sun, and so you come to a place, or because of work still, you come into a place where the sun is so like hot. So that like you have to do like screenings for your skin checkups. Maybe you might develop skin cancer, or even something, not necessarily even a cancer, or a benign condition like maybe a melanoma, something like that may really come up. So occupational screening is so essential. And now let's drive to the very last one, and that's the third screening form, and this is the genetic screening. The genetic screening is just the main form of screening, and everyone's like a generic form that everyone really knows. This one is maybe PCRs are done for everyone, maybe to assess like any family history that you have, you as a person. The first one was maybe for your partner and everything like that, so as spouses. But this one is like what you really have. And maybe let me give an example, like for my own family, we have my grandfather died of prostate cancer, and another one, I think maybe the cancers, like just prostate cancer, is quite common. You get, so I'm actually mandated to try to screen out for anything that's related to prostate cancer. Maybe if I see any symptoms somewhere, still I can easily identify that this is prostate cancer coming, or something like that. You get, so anything that's related to your family history, maybe something, or your grandfather, your father, your mother, your sibling, other sibling, is something of the sort, you can easily identify it via the genetic screenings. And there are many forms of genetic screenings that you can do. Actually, you can just try to go to a doctor, and then you narrate everything. Maybe if at all you can not really identify what you need, you as a person, maybe which form of genetic screening that you need, you can just narrate the whole story to your doctor, and you say, I have this and this, my grandfather did that, this and this. We have risk factors or potential things, where potential victims for something, maybe a certain medical condition. So by that, your doctor can really devise a way of how to help you out to best screen you for the conditions that may really be coming up. Alright, let me hope you picked some value from this video. Thank you for watching up this moment, and thank you for subscribing if you're already a subscriber. And if you're a new member here, please consider subscribing and give this video a like. Don't forget to share it to someone that may really need it, and see you in the next videos.